most men think we're eating clean, and then we do a 7-day nutrition audit to look over your nutrition, and we find out exactly why you're carrying belly fat. As you can see James here, he was stuck with belly fat. He lost 25 pounds in 90 days as a project director. This is the first step we do as a part of a metabolic reset. And I'm going to go live with you just to show you what a 7-day nutrition audit could look like for you. Real time, let's review some meals together. All right. So this meal, what does it look like? It looks on the surface as a healthy meal, right? It has berries or blueberries, raspberries. It looks like it has some oats here and some protein powder. I actually know which client had this meal. But then there was sugary granola. Now, I'm going to make something very clear. You might eat very many clean meals, and one bad meal won't ruin everything. It's the collective of what happens over time. So if you have insulin problems and you're eating sugar first thing in the morning, that can create an inflammation response. So this actually has a lot more sugar, and what would be better than the granola is either oats or just more berries, because you can get protein powder from the Greek yogurt. Another example is when you're traveling. You can see here, I see sugary protein bar and a sugary protein drink. A lot of men are actually getting too much of their protein from whey protein that's created from a factory. Like, this is already 50 to 60 grams of protein, but you might think, okay, I'm hitting my protein goal, but what would be better here is actually to try and get the protein from organic food, because these again have lots of refined sugar. Sugar keeps belly fat. It makes you inflamed. So here, chicken, like a chicken salad, would be better than these two. Obviously, as a chicken wrap here, but that's another thing, is how many calories is that in a chicken wrap? Because when you are traveling, that's the problem. There's so many extra ingredients, like you can see desserts, you can see the bread, you can see the cheese, and then here's the protein, but it's quite little protein compared to all the other ingredients. So your lifestyle is actually the biggest challenge. It's not necessarily the meals itself, it's the collective. And when you have a busy, demanding career where you are either traveling lots or you're running around with kids or eating out at restaurants, that is when eating out becomes a minefield. And you might have one good day and the 2-3 days are not so good. And that is enough to keep you stuck for months. Not to mention, I want to say that clean eating is also not usually enough. Because if you're someone who deals with stress, and let's say we track sleep, for example. We look at a client here, we look at his sleep score, and his WAP says 92 out of 100, but then look at his deep sleep. His deep sleep and restfulness are down. So on the surface, guys, this is exactly why we, as a part of a metabolic reset, is we bring things up to the surface that you can't really see. That's the power of coaching, is because, look, if you're eating lots of sugar, or let's say you're even eating quite well, but your sleep and restfulness, you're interfering with deep REM sleep and you don't even know that, that's a problem, right? So you might be even eating well and then your sleep is not optimized. So a part of this 7-day nutrition audit that we do is to identify the things that are keeping you stuck. And usually that's very hard to figure out on your own. And I understand that, right? Because when your mind is running 100 miles an hour, you got kids, you got career, you got travels, usually these things just become forgotten. And that's not really your fault, it's just your way of life. So if you do another example here, here is a healthy meal, steak, but the fries is something I wouldn't eat. If I was trying to cut, I wouldn't eat the fries. So usually we tell our clients to have 1 or 2 fries, but they eat the steak. Salads is something I even tell clients to avoid because there's no protein in this salad. And you might think this is healthy, but look at the olive oil. It's drizzling in olive oil. This is probably 500 to 600 calories and no protein. Another example, sauces are quite dangerous, right? This can be 300 calories in sauces. So you see a lot of our clients are at business dinners, we're drinking wine, we have a steak, and this is where it's going to be very important for you to be aware of that. And most men don't think about this. They just run through their days and they think, I had a steak, I didn't eat any sugar, but then we have 300 calories in sauces. And that adds up, guys, that adds up. But when you do start to identify these things, this is how we get clients to lose 1 kilo in 3 days. 1 kilo in 3 days. This was literally this week. So if you are someone who's kind of like maybe a little bit more fit than James, but you want to kind of get shredded, you want to get ripped, you want to get lean and more fit and athletic, yet you feel you're doing everything right, you've tried a lot of things, and maybe you've even tried more extreme diets, you don't really need the extreme diets. We don't give clients immediately a meal plan. We actually more so audit their nutrition, and we find things and bring things to the surface that are keeping you stuck. And you need to start thinking about your body as like a business, because a lot of men treat nutrition, or they put health to the side, and then their busy lifestyle like you might take over. But what happens is you end up managing your eating and think that you're doing the right things, but under the surface you got things like that could be alcohol one day, that could be stress another day, and then you have a family retreat, and then like you have good periods, but you're not really moving the things that really get you the results. And when you don't have that precision in nutrition, your metabolism and testosterone are just like, they're not getting to where they need to be. And when you're over 35, you need to not manage your body, you need to actively be on top of it. Because a business that's not really, if you're not on top of your business, it actually starts declining and dying. The same is with your body. If you're just managing it, that's not what's going to get you ripped. You need to be actively on top of it, and you should see amazing results. Like if you saw this guy, where is the screenshot? He lost 3 kilos in 3 days just by doing the smallest changes, not changing his entire lifestyle. So a huge part really of nutrition is just structure and focusing on the right things. And that is, when it comes down to guesswork and thinking that maybe you're eating healthy, that is not enough. But we eliminate that decision fatigue in our coaching. So if you want me to take a look at your nutrition, workouts, and lifestyle to figure out what exactly is keeping your belly fat stuck, then you can DM me the word audit on Instagram and I'll reach out.